Picture this. You spend 30 years paying down a home. You do everything right. Then you pass away and your family cannot touch that house for a year or more. Worse, it costs them tens of thousands of dollars just to get the keys. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Today, I want to talk about something that has nothing to do with your interest rate and everything to do with whether the wealth you built actually reaches the people you love. I want to talk about the living trust. Here's the plain English version. A living trust is a legal container you create while you're alive. You move assets into it, your house, your accounts, your rental property, and here's the part people miss. You're still in charge. In most cases, you are the trustee. You manage everything exactly the way you did before. You can sell, you can refinance, you can spend. Nothing about your daily life changes. What changes is what happens when you're gone. A trust names a beneficiary the same way a will does, but the assets inside the trust are structured to pass directly to those people without going through the probate court. Probate, that is the word that costs families real money. In California, probate fees are set by statute. They are based on the gross value of the estate, not the equity. I want to say that one more time because it's the most expensive misunderstanding in this entire conversation. Probate fees in California are based on the gross value of the estate, not the equity. So picture a home worth $1.6 million with a $425,000 mortgage on it. Your actual equity is $1,175,000. But the probate clock runs on the full $1,600,000. Under the California statutory schedule, that works out to roughly $29,000 for the attorney and roughly $29,000 for the executor. Call it up to $58,000 on a home you already paid for, plus court costs, plus the time. And time is the second cost. Probate in California commonly runs 12 to 18 months, sometimes longer. During that window, the house sits. The mortgage payment does not sit. The property tax does not sit. The insurance does not sit. Somebody in the family has to cover all of it out of the pocket while the court decides what everybody in that family already knew. So what does this mean for you? It means a living trust is not a rich person tool. It is a middle-class tool, and in California, it matters twice as much because our home values run about double the national average. The same house that creates a modest probate bill in most of the country creates a serious one here. Now, let me give you the other side because I am not here to sell you a trust. I do not sell trusts. I refer people to professionals who do. A living trust has 4 real limits. Here are 4 of them. Number 1, a living trust is not asset protection. It does not shield your assets from creditors. If you owe money, a revocable trust does not make that go away. Number 2, it does not save you taxes, not now, not at your death. Anybody who tells you a revocable living trust is a tax strategy is selling you something. Number 3, it counts against you for Medicaid eligibility. A revocable trust is treated as countable resource. Number 4, it costs money to set up, and not every asset moves in cleanly. A car is the classic example. Retitle your car into a trust, and you can run into problems with your auto insurance because on paper, you're no longer the owner. So a trust is a tool, not a miracle. Tools work when you match them to the job. Here's where this connects to what I do every day. The single biggest mistake I see is not that families skip the trust, is that they create the trust and then never fund it. An unfunded trust is an empty box. If the deed to your home still says your name and not the name of the trust, that home goes through probate anyway. You paid the attorney, you paid the binder, or you signed the binder. You put it in a drawer, and the one asset it was supposed to protect never made it inside. This comes up constantly on my side of the table. When you refinance property that sits in a trust, the home usually comes out of the trust to close the loan, and it has to go back in afterward. If nobody is watching that step, your trust is now an empty box, and you do not find out for 20 years at the worst possible moment. So if you've refinanced in the last few years and you have a trust, go check the deed today. That is a 10-minute phone call to your title company or your estate attorney and is the highest return 10 minutes in this entire subject. Let me tie it back to the framework I use with every family. Safety, liquidity, and return. A trust is a safety play. It protects the transfer, but liquidity is the part people forget. If your family has to carry a $425,000 mortgage for 18 months while a court sorts out the estate, where does that cash come from? This is exactly why I never recommend paying off a mortgage early and locking every dollar you have inside the walls of a house. Equity trapped in a home is not liquid. Your family cannot eat drywall. The right answer is almost never one document. It is a document plus the structure behind it. And that's the whole point of what we do. Eligibility asks whether you can get a loan. Suitability asks whether you should and how should it be built. Strategy beats rate always. We have covered estate structure in depth on prior shows and put the whole breakdown into one paper. And you can see that. We'll share it with you. Here's what I want you to do. If you do not have a trust and you own a home in California, get in front of an estate professional. If you do not have one, verify it is funded. I offer my listeners a direct connection to the estate planning partners we work with. It costs nothing to talk to them. Go to rsrlinks.com/estate. That's rsrlinks.com/estate. We'll point you to the right professional and make sure the mortgage side of your picture lines up with the legal side. Nothing I said today is legal or tax advice. I'm a lender, not an attorney. Talk to a qualified estate attorney and tax professional about your situation. Your family should inherit your house, not your paperwork. I'm Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com. Free.